So next, we're venturing north. We are going to the Walla Walla. We're right there by the Rocks district of Milton Freewater, which you know pretty well. This is the Walls. This is a project, it's a 2019 Mahana, the Walls. It is a lovely blend that comes over from this beautiful sort of rich structural where it meets Oregon to Washington in that area. This is a blend with sort of like a Rhone approach. There is a Syrah, Grenache, and Viognier, just 1% in there to round it up.
Just 1% of Viognier?
Just 1%.
Well, the aromatics really speak of that kind of, I guess, that kind of flamboyant kind of lift that Viognier can give. And even at just 1%, which you don't actually smell it, this wine definitely has some really beautiful aromatics. Bramble fruit, thorny brambled fruits like black raspberry and blackberry, like slightly smashed. There's a warmth to the wine, right? This kind of rocky, kind of crushed rocky kind of soil and smashed kind of brambled fruit. Some wild violets and a little bit of cracked pepper. But there's lots of florals here.
Totally. It's like showing up on like Valentine's Day with a bouquet of flowers.
Like the petals are kind of like mortar and pestle. Everything seems kind of like smashed and kind of like, like there's like this warmth to the wine. And
absolutely. A little tobacco to tie it up at the end. Kind of
like some sweet pipe tobacco, like your grandpa's sweet pipe tobacco. Not like, not the serious masculine Maduro or Oscuro tobacco. This like, it's more like this kind of tobacco shop pipe tobacco that's super oily. That goes in,
yeah, like resiny in some way. This is a project, a passion project, and actually they've enlisted a number of viticulturalists and enologists from the Napa Valley. So there is a lot of expertise that's come from this area where we are right now to north, and they've managed to build this project in very small amounts. They make merely 500 cases of this wine and a number of others, but definitely there's an impact there. There's density, consequence on the wine.
Absolutely, some good staining to the tears. It's showing that Syrah kind of color. Grenache doesn't generally show that as much. That hot rock kind of spice rack definitely translates to the palate, and all of those florals are kind of lifted and they're kind of more in the periphery when you get them onto the palate. As the palate warms up, it really kind of shows a little bit more of that kind of cracked pepper, allspice, a little bit of clove, that kind of garrigue, that kind of resinous kind of dried herb, but definitely plenty of spice, all those florals in the background. Nice and long in the finish too. Richness and concentration, but not heaviness.
No, it kind of ends lively.
It's dense, but it's not like, by any means, feel like this is just over the top, and there's plenty of energy in the fruit.
Well, did I tell you what the pairing is from the restaurant, from Birdsong? Chef Christopher put together this aged lamb loin with mustard greens and a little Mount Tam.
So a little spicy, kind of like bitter, kind of green.
Game
Mount Tam cheese?
Yes.
Really?
So power, elegance with that lamb that kind of, this is a super powerful dish, right? For a wine that can definitely stand a little bit of like that meatiness, gaminess, richness, right?
It's really coming into its own. It's in a nice place, 5 years old. I think you drink this maybe between like 7 and like 12. I think that's going to be like, like when
you mean hours, 7 and 12?
when it begins to peak, I think like this wine's, it's delicious right now, but I think it's going to begin to peak in terms of still have that really beautiful, rich fruit kind of showcasing for those 5 to 6, 7 years when it's like, 2 years from now when it's 7 years old and going into its 12th year. I might hold this wine for like about as far as 10 years, but I think the fruit is so pretty, I want it to still be present when I'm drinking it.
Lovely. Where would you put it in terms of like Syrahs from the world, like great Shiraz? Like, would you compare it to an area for?
I think that it's really showing the Rocks AVA quite well. Yeah, that whole rocky kind of Walla Walla Rocks kind of Washington, Oregon type, area. I think it shows that in spades. There's a few sites in California that generally tend to get a little bit riper, a little bit warmer. This one has a very meaty kind of like just kind of crushed rocky stone. I think it's showing what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the insight.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.